Another viewer commented this. This was on a video I did about Ari Melber slamming Merrick Garland's inaction. He says the time to slam Garland's inaction was about a year ago. Now the time has come to demand his removal for gross negligence. Boom. And dereliction of duty. Negligence and dereliction of duty. Another boom. He should possibly even face corruption charges. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. 100%. I believe I have the DOJ contact link in the description. Feel free to use it. You want to know what you should talk about? Well, Ring of Fire just talked about something I think we should also discuss. Trump is now engaging in stochastic terrorism. He has been for a while. But he's singling out the election workers. Specifically, there were two that testified. A mother and daughter didn't get paid to be election workers. And I mean, they're examples of exactly what you would want a good American citizen to be. They engage in local politics as a hobby because they give a damn. Simple as that. He used the handing off of a piece of candy, to make them targets of his insane base. And then he's back at it on Truth Social. Let's listen to Ring of Fire.
Donald Trump, seemingly unprovoked, posted a rant on Truth Social this week where he attacked a Georgia election worker by the name of Ruby Freeman. And in his attack, which I will read in just a moment, but Donald Trump accused Ms. Freeman of not only rigging the Georgia election, but also of lying to investigators. Here is what Donald Trump had to say. Wow, has anyone seen the Ruby Freeman contradictions of her sworn testimony? Now this is big stuff. Look what was captured by Cobb County Police body cameras on January 4th, 2021. And everything they are saying is false. Everything from the quote-unquote suitcases of the ballot boxes to the way we open them back up, everything they said was false. The FBI reached out to me only to clear my social media. Evidence tampering? Count was low. It was really low. Now it gets really bad.
Okay. That right there is a former president targeting American citizens for, at the very least, harassment. But we all know, because they have demonstrated this. I give you Nancy Pelosi's husband getting bashed in the head with a hammer. We all know there is a high likelihood of violence when he does things like this. These women specifically said they were afraid when they testified in front of the January 6th committee. They are wise to be afraid. This is a dangerous situation he has put them in, and it's made more dangerous by the fact that Merrick Garland is incompetent. There's no good answer for why Trump is not in handcuffs right now. For that alone, there should be breaking news this morning that he has been tossed in the back of a police cruiser. For that alone. Viewer comment earlier said gross negligence. I agree. I have no notes on that. I agree. That is exactly correct.
Kind of hard to follow most of that, but he continues. Boom, under the table, cut the zip ties to scan them so the number would go up. So that's how the number was created by the ballots going through the scanner. I do want an attorney. It's all a fraud. Everything they are saying is false, from the suitcases of the ballot boxes to why we opened them back up. Everything they said was false. They got Ruby's 7 top D.C. lawyers and protection from the FBI again. Why? She then changed her statements, lied. Trouble for Ruby.
Mother.
What will the great state of Georgia do with the Ruby Freeman mess? Here's the thing about Ruby Freeman. First of all, she's been totally vindicated in all of this. She did not do anything wrong.
Yep.
Her and her daughter, Shay Moss, came back into the office to continue doing the counting with everybody else. They had stored the ballots under the table. When they got in to recount them, they moved the boxes to the top of the table so they could reach them, and they continued the ballot counting. That's what happened. Now, Donald Trump, along with One American News and Rudy Giuliani and the Gateway Pundit, all claim that these women, Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, somehow fabricated these ballots. And the reason I know that those specific people have claimed that is because those are the groups that have been sued for defamation by Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss.
Okay.
Now, One American News actually settled for an undisclosed amount the defamation lawsuit filed by Moss and Freeman earlier, last year, I guess, back in May. So they had to pay. Rudy Giuliani, just a couple months ago, attempted to get the defamation lawsuit against him dismissed. The judge said, no, you're going to face trial for this, buddy.
I'm not sure how I feel about the use of their names, even in this broadcast. The reason that I didn't edit that out of the clip is because I honestly think that people who tend to lean progressive need to be on the lookout for these women in some way, need to have the knowledge of who they are specifically so that we can make appeals to the Justice Department to protect them. Thought about it for a while this morning. Genuinely wasn't sure which way I was going to go, but ultimately I saw how many people responded to that Truth Social rant, and I know the percentage of people that watch my streams that are conservative, which would be less than 1. Good. Sitting for them. This is for you. Contact the Justice Department. Tell them you want Trump dealt with for this. You want him arrested for this. He can be charged for multiple things at once. If you blow up a building and then go rob a bank, they don't say, we can't charge him for blowing up that building. We have to build this case about the bank robbery. That's nonsense. Similarly, there is no reason Trump cannot be arrested for this. He's intentionally endangering citizens. That is the definition of stochastic terrorism. That is an act of terrorism that he's just engaged in. And it must be taken seriously. Let's let this gentleman continue.
Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss get to take you to court. And then, as I mentioned, they've also filed a suit against the Gateway Pundit.
No. This is where we disagree. It's not that they can take him to court for defamation. This is beyond that. They said they were afraid of him. They are right to be afraid of him. Nancy Pelosi's husband, a man who has a great deal of money, a great deal of influence, he was attacked by one of these MAGA psychopaths in his home with a hammer. These ladies do not have a great deal of money. They do not have a great deal of influence. If they take Donald Trump to court over this, they paint a larger target on themselves. This is not a matter for the civil courts. This is a matter for the criminal courts. Trump has yet again broken the law. He has yet again endangered Americans. and he has yet again been allowed to do it. It must stop. It must stop. And it will not if Merrick Garland continues to think we don't give a damn. If he thinks that you don't care and I don't care, he will let another day pass where he collects a paycheck for doing nothing. This is not acceptable behavior. We need to make that clear. Link in the description. Contact the Justice Department. There is a form to fill out wherein you also give your opinion. Mention these women. Mention Trump's stochastic terrorism on Truth Social. What Farron has said quite correctly here is that Trump has been informed. Not that it should be needed, but regardless, he has been informed by well beyond the degree that should even be necessary. He has been informed that he got it wrong. I mean, he knew he was lying the whole time, but nonetheless, his lies were examined, and he was told that is not accurate. These women did nothing wrong. So when he has done this just now, it was with the knowledge of the truth. When he lied about them now, he knew what the truth was. He was told the truth by adults. The fact that he chose to yet again paint a target on their back needs to be dealt with by Merrick Garland immediately. Incidentally, these women should be put in witness protection. That is now necessary because of what our former president has done. Let's let him finish.
Now, with Donald Trump's statements right here, specifically naming this private citizen who is not a public official, right? She is not somebody in the spotlight. She is somebody, however, who has gotten repeated death threats from MAGA freaks out there because of the lies told about her and her daughter. Trump mentions her by name, makes all these wild accusations against her, the same accusations these other groups made. I expect very soon Donald Trump to be hit with another defamation lawsuit, as he should.
Lawsuit's not enough. Not enough.
This is unhinged. These are the rantings of a madman, but they're also very defamatory. So Ruby Freeman, if you haven't already talked to your lawyers, I suggest you do that, because this is a defamation lawsuit waiting to happen, and it's one that I personally think you could pretty easily win here.
All right. As I say, it does make me nervous to play their names on the stream. I don't like that he said them again and again, but I do want you to know them. Because it's necessary, I feel, that Merrick Garland understand that we are following this closely, that we see exactly what is going on, and that we will not forget about it like he keeps hoping we will. You go back to that viewer comment one more time. The time to slam Garland's inaction was about a year ago. Now think about what he's done since then, including what he did on January 2nd, which is try to get people to attack innocent election workers. Fairchild Creek is correct. The time was a year ago. The time is also now. Garland, right now, must act. Now the time has come to demand his removal for gross negligence and dereliction of duty. Also correct. The other person to write I believe the link is also in the description. If it's not, I will update it. Your representative, tell them that exactly. Fairchild Creek has put it correctly. Say, you would like your representative to demand Garland's removal for gross negligence and dereliction of duty. This is where we are at. We will keep having the same problems until the Justice Department ceases to be two-tier. And that will only happen when we pressure them. It's unfortunate that it's on us, but it is on us. Now you know their names. If the next time you hear those names, you don't want it to be in an obituary, contact the Justice Department. Tell them that now is the time to arrest Trump because he is a danger to American citizens.